the strange and scandalous saga of Henry VIII. Henry VII's reign remains one of history's most enigmatic periods. His ascent to the throne marked the end of the tumultuous Wars of the Roses, but his rule was characterized by a series of mysterious events and decisions. These elements have fascinated historians and laypeople alike for centuries. The origins of Henry VII are shrouded in mystery. Born to a Welsh mother and an English father, his lineage was disputed by many. He spent much of his early life in exile, cultivating an air of mystique that followed him even after he claimed the throne in 1485. The War of the Roses was a bloody conflict between the houses of Lancaster and York. Henry, a Lancastrian by birth, seized the opportunity to claim the throne. His victory at the Battle of Bosworth Field marked the beginning of a new era, but his rise was fraught with intrigue. Henry VII's marriage to Elizabeth of York was both strategic and scandalous. This union aimed to unite the warring factions of Lancaster and York. However, rumors of infidelity and political maneuvering plagued their marriage, adding another layer of complexity to Henry's already enigmatic reign. The disappearance of the princes in the Tower remains one of the most enduring mysteries of Henry VII's time. The young sons of Edward IV vanished without a trace, leading to widespread speculation. Some believe Henry played a part in their disappearance to solidify his claim to the throne. Richard III's unexpected death on the battlefield at Bosworth in 1485 left many questions. His demise was pivotal for Henry VII's ascension. Whispers of betrayal and covert plots swirled, suggesting that Henry's supporters played a more sinister role in ensuring Richard's fall, casting shadows over the new monarch's legitimacy. Henry VII's marriage to Elizabeth of York united warring factions, but wasn't without controversy. Their union, meant to solidify peace, was marred by rumors. Some whispered that the marriage was a mere political maneuver, questioning the genuine affection between the two and hinting at deeper, scandalous motives behind their alliance. The disappearance of the princes in the Tower remains one of history's enduring mysteries. Edward V and his brother vanished under Richard III's guardianship, but Henry VII's silence on the matter raised suspicions. Some believed he had a hand in their fate, seeking to eliminate potential threats to his reign. Allegations of Henry VII's involvement in witchcraft were fueled by his reliance on astrologers and mystics. Such associations, in an era rife with superstitions, led many to speculate about his methods of maintaining power. These rumors painted a picture of a king willing to dabble in the occult to secure his throne. The Lambert-Simnel rebellion showcased Henry VII's precarious grip on power. Simnel, a pretender supported by discontented nobles, threatened Henry's reign. The rebellion's failure demonstrated Henry's resilience, but the ease with which Simnel gained backing highlighted the deep-seated unrest and the constant challenges to Henry's authority. Henry VII's court was a melting pot of eclectic personalities and peculiar customs. The king surrounded himself with a mix of loyalists and opportunists, each vying for favor. This environment fostered an atmosphere of constant intrigue, where secrets were currency and alliances shifted with the winds of royal favor. Henry VII's fascination with astrology was no mere hobby. It permeated his decision-making and court culture. He frequently consulted astrologers for guidance on matters both personal and political. This reliance on celestial advice added an air of mysticism to his reign, influencing everything from battle strategies to marriage alliances. The Dudley and Empson Extortions were a dark chapter in Henry VII's financial policies. These two ministers aggressively enforced outdated laws to extract money from the nobility. Their actions caused widespread resentment and fear, casting a long shadow over Henry's efforts to stabilize the royal treasury through controversial means. Henry VII's alliance with Spain was both strategic and unusual. By marrying his son Arthur to Catherine of Aragon, he secured a powerful ally. This marriage was a pivotal move in the complex chess game of European politics, ensuring England's influence while navigating the treacherous waters of international diplomacy. Henry VII's court was a tapestry of eccentricities, reflecting his own idiosyncrasies. From bizarre fashion trends to unusual dietary habits, the court's daily life was anything but ordinary. These quirks, coupled with the ever-present intrigue, created a unique environment that has fascinated historians and captivated popular imagination. Henry VII's health was marked by several peculiarities that baffled his contemporaries. He often suffered from periodic illnesses that seemed to defy clear diagnosis. These mysterious ailments fueled rumors and added to his enigmatic persona. His health issues influenced his reign, shaping decisions and policies driven by a persistent fear of mortality. The Tudor court was rife with strange rituals and ceremonies that reflected the era's superstitions. These rituals, often shrouded in secrecy, included elaborate coronation ceremonies and peculiar courtly traditions. These practices were intended to solidify Henry VII's authority and create an aura of mystique around his reign. Henry VII's intelligence network was one of the most secretive and efficient of his time. He employed a vast array of spies and informants to gather information on potential threats. This clandestine network helped him maintain control over his court and kingdom, ensuring that he stayed one step ahead of his enemies. The execution of William Stanley was a scandal that sent shockwaves through the realm. Stanley, once a trusted ally, was accused of treason and swiftly executed. This ruthless act served as a stern warning to others who might consider betraying the king, reinforcing Henry VII's iron grip on power. Henry VII's relationship with the church was complex and often peculiar. He navigated a delicate balance between appeasing religious authorities and asserting his own dominance. This relationship was marked by strategic alliances, controversial appointments, and the king's occasional interference in ecclesiastical matters, reflecting his desire to control all aspects of his realm. Key advisors of Henry VII vanished mysteriously, leaving the court in turmoil. Their disappearances fueled rumors of foul play and political intrigue, casting a shadow over the king's reign. These incidents raised questions about loyalty and survival in the Tudor court, where trust was a rare commodity. Henry VII's architectural projects were marked by unusual designs and hidden symbols. These constructions, often shrouded in secrecy, reflected his fascination with mysticism and power. His ambitious building plans not only showcased his wealth, but also hinted at deeper, enigmatic purposes. The dietary habits of Henry VII were peculiar, often dictated by superstition and health beliefs. His lavish feasts featured exotic dishes, yet his daily meals were surprisingly modest. This dichotomy revealed a king caught between indulgence and restraint, mirroring the complexities of his reign. Marriage negotiations for Henry VII's children were scandalous, marked by political maneuvering and broken promises. These alliances were crucial for securing his dynasty, yet they often led to public outrage and private despair. The king's relentless pursuit of advantageous marriages exemplified his strategic yet ruthless approach to power. The death of Prince Arthur was shrouded in mystery, igniting speculation and grief across the kingdom. As Henry VII's heir, Arthur's untimely demise threatened the Tudor succession, prompting fears of instability. The prince's death remains one of the most poignant and enigmatic events of Henry VII's reign. Margaret Beaufort, Henry VII's mother, wielded immense influence in the Tudor court. Known for her intense piety, she attended Mass multiple times daily. Her unwavering ambition for Henry and meticulous control over court affairs often raised eyebrows, highlighting her peculiar blend of religious devotion and political maneuvering. Fashion in Henry VII's court was anything but conventional. Courtiers donned elaborate, sometimes outlandish, garments that reflected the king's taste for opulence. This fascination with extravagant fashion served as a tool to project power and sophistication, creating an atmosphere of both admiration and bewilderment among foreign visitors. Henry VII masterfully employed propaganda to solidify his reign. He commissioned portraits and writings that depicted him as a legitimate and divine ruler. This strategic manipulation of public perception helped suppress dissent and reinforce his authority, showcasing his innovative use of media to shape his image and control narratives. Yorkist supporters faced harsh treatment under Henry VII's rule. Suspected conspirators were often imprisoned or executed without trial, creating an environment of fear. This ruthless approach to potential threats cemented Henry's power, but also painted a picture of a ruler unafraid to employ scandalous measures to maintain control. Henry VII's reign saw the implementation of peculiar laws and decrees. Some were designed to curb the power of the nobility, while others targeted specific economic practices. These unconventional legal measures sparked controversy and confusion, as they often appeared arbitrary, reflecting the king's unpredictable approach to governance. Henry VII's foreign policy decisions often baffled contemporaries and historians. His alliances and treaties seemed erratic, sometimes favoring traditional enemies. His pact with Spain led to strained relations with France, while his support for Brittany's independence created further confusion. These unpredictable moves kept European powers on edge, fostering a climate of uncertainty. Throughout his reign, Henry VII's court was notorious for scandalous imprisonments. Nobles and commoners alike faced incarceration on dubious charges, often without trial. These imprisonments served to quell dissent and consolidate power. The arbitrary nature of these actions created an atmosphere of fear and mistrust within the kingdom. Superstition played a significant role during Henry VII's reign. He was known to consult astrologers and seers before making important decisions. This reliance on the supernatural extended to his court, where rituals and omens influenced daily life. Such practices were seen as both eccentric and unsettling by his subjects. Henry VII's relationship with France was marked by unusual diplomatic maneuvers. He alternated between hostility and alliance, keeping both nations wary. His marriage negotiations and treaties often had hidden agendas, leaving French counterparts uncertain of his true intentions. This erratic approach complicated Anglo-French relations for years. Espionage activities under Henry VII were scandalously widespread. His intelligence network was extensive, infiltrating both foreign courts and domestic circles. Spies gathered information on political rivals and potential threats, ensuring Henry's control. This clandestine surveillance created an atmosphere of paranoia, with many fearing their every move was being watched. Henry VII's relationship with France was marked by a mix of diplomacy and suspicion. Despite initial hostilities, he secured peace through the Treaty of Edibles, which included a handsome pension from France. This uneasy truce allowed Henry to consolidate power, but mutual distrust lingered throughout his reign. Espionage was a hallmark of Henry VII's administration. He maintained a network of informants and spies, both domestically and abroad. This clandestine activity ensured he stayed ahead of potential threats and rebellions. The king's covert operations were instrumental in maintaining his grip on the throne, showcasing his cunning and paranoia. Henry VII had peculiar hobbies, including an intense interest in collecting rare books and manuscripts. His fascination with astrology and alchemy also occupied much of his time. These unusual pursuits reflected his quest for knowledge and control, further highlighting the enigmatic nature of his reign. Economically, Henry VII employed unconventional strategies. He focused on accumulating wealth through heavy taxation and strict fiscal policies, often at the expense of nobility and commoners alike. These measures filled the royal coffers, but earned him a reputation for being miserly and oppressive, casting a shadow over his economic achievements. The legacy of Henry VII is one of intrigue and complexity. His reign was filled with scandals, secretive actions, and peculiar decisions that continue to fascinate historians. Despite his controversial methods, he established the Tudor dynasty and brought relative stability to England, leaving an indelible mark on history.